Well, we're so pleased today to have some folks from the Palo Alto Unified School District with us to talk about the topic of kindergarten. Full day, extended day, half day, what the options are, and what's facing the district at this point. All the way at the end, we have Barbara Harris, who is Chief Academic Officer, Pre-K through 5.
Thank you.
Of course, Max McGee, Superintendent of the district.
Thanks, Jocelyn.
And Judy Argumedo, Director of Academic Supports. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, Elena wrote a cover story, which is published today, about the kinder conundrum. There's a lot going on in the kindergarten space right now, and some debate about that, some options facing us. Elena, why don't you just kick us off a little bit with what's happening right now?
Sure. So the district is considering moving to full-day kindergarten in a few different models and different versions of that, primarily because of a recommendation from a Minority Achievement Talent Development Committee task force that Max convened last year and Judy served on also, that recommended full-day kindergarten for all historically underrepresented students in the district. So this has raised the question of should all elementary schools move to this model? And currently only Barron Park and Palo Verde operate. I guess Palo Verde isn't technically called a full-day model, but kindergartners stay 4 days a week until 2 o'clock. At Barron Park, they stay 4 days a week until 2:25. And the other 10 schools all do what's called the extended half-day model, where 2 days a week, half of each class stays for some extra time with the teachers. And then I think at also some of the schools, there's some targeted time with tutors for the students who need it on top of that, those 2 extra days a week.
Okay.
So there's this debate over can kindergartners stay for the full day? Do they need to? What are the benefits? And is it, best for the students who really need it or best for all?
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the genesis of this idea that maybe there are some additional options, maybe there's some change that could be made in the district. What's the genesis?
Sure. Well, I think Elena hit it right on the head about the real driver was the findings of the Minority Achievement and Talent Development Advisory Committee. And what we know from Barron Park, what we know at Palo Verde, when the students have more time in kindergarten classes, they not only learn to read better and become more numerate, but that they just are more ready in every which way, social, emotionally, attention span, self-confidence. And we actually have some hard data about that.
Okay.
And we started this by looking at our 12th graders and working backwards. We looked at our underrepresented population and looking at those that did not meet A to G requirements. And a lot of this happens because back in second and third grade, they were not reading at benchmark.
Wow, that far back.
Yeah. So we, and I don't know if Judy wanted to say a little more about that. And then we have a second driver, but let's stick on this first one for a moment.
Sure.
Yeah.
So part of my work with the Kinder think tank, because we met with the kindergarten teachers, was to answer some of those questions. Our Minority Achievement Talent Development Task Force really did a deep analysis of why our students weren't achieving. And we asked a lot of questions, and we also asked the reverse, so the students who were achieving, and what were they doing. I think that looking at some of our programs, we saw that the majority of our students, the underrepresented minorities, did attend preschool. So that was one myth, I think, the students don't attend preschool, and the majority did attend preschool. So we really had to look at different ways that we could capture them and, have safety nets all through. I don't know if you want to talk about one of the isolation.
I want to talk about this, how this benefits everyone.
Okay.
So it's not just about the 15% of population historically underrepresented, and maybe Barbara can talk for a few moments. Not just the hard research, and we have some findings from that, but just other benefits to a longer kindergarten day.
A longer kindergarten day provides for the enrichment, the extension of time to build community in small groups, because we know that our expert teachers brought up that small group is absolutely important to building the confidence, the skill, the interaction, being able to have the modeling, the rich modeling of leveled different types of students, different abilities, sharing in that kindergarten experience, but having the time without rushing to do that, to do it meaningfully and to do it well. Not extending the academic expectations, they're always there, but allowing for some of this some of the other important elements of a kinder day to be in place for all students.
And let me just ask a really basic question. So the state has some requirements of what kids get out of kindergarten, what they learn in kindergarten. And that's true whether or not it's a half day, it's kind of compressed into the half day, or whether it's spread out, as you were saying then, over the full day.
I don't know if
Is that
there's
correct?
specific requirements. There's a Common Core standards in kindergarten is optional in California.
Oh, okay.
But again, that we know that if students aren't reading at benchmark by second grade and certainly by third grade, that they're going to have a real challenge through the rest of their educational trajectory. That's why we call this investing in kindergarten, because it's investment in these kids' future that's going to make an enduring and lasting difference to them.
Barbara, you just mentioned the issue of small group time, which I know, I mean, we heard at a board meeting last month, some teachers felt very strongly, kinder teachers, that moving to a full day would mean losing that, precious gold standard time that they have with the smaller group of their class 2 days a week. And Judy, I also know we talked last week, and you mentioned that you yourself were a kindergarten teacher that shifted from half to full day, and you were a reluctant, you were a convert immediately. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about that experience for yourself as a teacher and sort of what your concerns were, and then what you saw as the benefits in your own classroom.
So my concerns definitely were losing, the small group. Kids were going to be tired, and so I taught in Sunnyvale Elementary School District for 4 years as a full-day kinder teacher, and what I found is I had time to really extend play and choice, which with the standards was really hard to get in my previous district in a 3-hour block. So we did a lot of choice with paints and exploration, and I saw, especially like my English language learner students, getting that interaction with other students who are native speakers and building up their oral language and getting time to like have maybe a second recess. And recess, they learned so much social emotional behavior that it was really beneficial. And the next year I had a choice to send my daughter to half day or full day, and I did choose to send her for a full day because I saw the benefits. My daughter needed a little bit more social emotional, not the academics, but she needed some interactions, and I really saw a large benefit.
Elena, the other thing that was most important from my level and from my viewpoint was that we include the experts in the conversation.
Yeah,
so
of course.
the 44 talented teachers that we support and honor have a perspective that's very important. And so what they brought to us in terms of the absolute must-haves was the small group. We learned so much from these think tank sessions about what's valuable. But this is a shift, and it's a creation. And so their voice is part of creating what this will look like, very important piece of it. But everything that this brings is an opportunity to extend, to enrich, and to enhance. The small group is something that we cannot ignore. That is what they need in order to be successful. So that part of it has to be one of the must-haves.
And I was over at Aloni before I came here today in the kindergarten and first grades, and the teachers do these small groups, and I think that's one of the big advantages of this extended time. It actually gives them more time for small groups and more time to work together. At Aloni, they have 4 teachers working together with different small groups. It's fantastic. But the time's important, and I just want to take a moment to point out that the difference in time between Palo Verde, which is not even a full day model, and most of our other schools is about 200 minutes a week. 200 minutes a week, that's over 3 hours a week times 20 weeks, because we don't start till October. That's 600 hours. That's an additional 3 weeks of school.
Wow.
That's it. And that's not just to read and write, but that's to explore for student choice. So there's more time for student choice, more time for small group, more time to play. And I think that matters. And I think that was kind of an eye-opener for several of the faculty members as well, to see that time differential.
Could you talk a little bit about what you've heard from parents? I mean, I spoke to a lot of parents from both sides of the fence on this one. Some of them would be really happy to have a structured learning environment for their child in the afternoon instead of putting them in daycare or taking them home or whatever else they're doing with them. Other parents said, I want my kid to come home with me and be at home, or I want them to be able to go into our choice of an after-school enrichment program.
Well, I'm going to share with what one of the teachers shared with us at the think tank meeting yesterday, and that's that some of the parents actually have the means and the connections to provide a majorly enriched experience for their students in the afternoon, for their children in the afternoon. They take them places, they have play dates, there's all kinds of experience. That's not true of every family. So that's another reason we think it's really important to provide this experience. And frankly, if parents don't want them to come in the afternoon, I guess they don't have to bring them.
Right. They can opt out.
Yeah, they can opt out. Right. But this really is a matter of for those kids that don't, and I would say probably the majority of our children don't have that kind of wealth of opportunities. It really, I think, it's more than leveling the field. It's about opportunity and access to collaboration, to networking, to playing, to structured learning environment, and just having fun and not just being plopped down maybe in front of a TV or just kind of same old. So
I want to get to some specifics here. So there are 3 proposals, is that correct? About what is proposals or ideas of how the district could go. Can you just elaborate a little bit on what those models look like?
I can, but we also had a couple more come up. And
okay.
That's really the value of this whole
Late-breaking
think
news.
tank idea. I mean, we generated
We should say
a
the
couple
think
more
tank is a
ideas.
group that you started with representatives from each kindergarten campus or elementary school, plus some administrators to talk about these models.
Right, so we had a representative from each elementary school, and we had 2 librarians, a music teacher, Judy, Barbara, and
Principal.
Mary Pat O'Connell, the principal of Nixon, right? So, the 3 models, the original 3, or one would be to, for the students that need extra support, the struggling students, they would stay the extra 2 afternoons a week. So it'd be the same traditional program in most of the schools, but they'd stay an extra 2 afternoons a week and meet with a reading specialist. This is what they do at Escondido and a couple other schools right now. So that was one model. Another was, of course, then we had the Barron Park model and the Palo Verde models as well. So the Palo Verde model, they leave at 2, so the students really don't have the dedicated music teacher or the dedicated physical education teacher. Barron Park is really the full day, and the students do have a special PE teacher, special music teacher. They go to the library.
And would they also have the addition of this reading specialist that you were talking about for the first model, or is that already something?
We already have reading specialists at the school to support, and ideally to come in the classroom. We don't like to pull kids out of kindergarten to go to a piece. A couple things that came up yesterday, though. One of the teachers said, well, let's just standardize on the minutes. She was quite alarmed about the difference in minutes. So she said, well, suppose we just had a standard, much more narrow range of minutes, more minutes, and let the schools make that choice. So that was one. Another model was have half day until January, and then first semester, and then full day second semester.
actually thinking
One of the
about
teachers-
that.
I found
as the
out
kid
Portola
matures.
Valley School District does that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and so that's exactly one of the teachers brought that up yesterday. Another one was have the students, similar to the Palo Verde model, everybody stays till somewhere between 1:30 and 2, but then teachers can keep their half the class for that extended time. So now we're working with 6 models.
This is called choice.
Yeah, it is. And so,
But
go
I think
ahead,
the
Barbara.
richness of this whole think tank concept is voice, academic exchange, social emotional exchange, so that we do arrive at the best and the most that Palo Alto can provide. We are looking to give the best and the most that we can to our students and to our teachers. And so this session was just so important to do that, because they came with a very open-minded perspective, giving us their best so that we could consider it. So I think it was a great opportunity for stakeholders.
Has the think tank either talked with or looked at what other surrounding districts do? Because I know a lot do offer full day
Yeah, they do.
already, and have for a while.
Yeah, what's the landscape of that? Elena?
So I was trying to find this out this week. I know that Ravenswood
Right.
School District does offer the full day, and they also offer full transitional kindergarten. which is
Cupertino just embraced full day.
Okay.
They did their work last year, and now they're into full day.
interesting.
And the privates have full days. So
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Judy to talk about what we found out about the VTP students. But our kindergarten enrollment, as you'll find out at our board meeting, is significantly down next year. And we do attribute some of this to full day options in the area.
Really?
And Judy has actually some data about that. Go
Right,
ahead.
so most of the districts in the VTP Tinsley program, the other 8 districts offer full day, and Ravenswood does offer full day. So we're still getting a lot of applications, and it's a lottery, as you know, we take
Right.
60. kinders first or second. We primarily take in kindergarten students because we can have them the full 13 years, excuse me. But now our applications have shifted and we have a lot of first and second grade applications because they're choosing to stay in Ravenswood for kinder, which is full day, and then come apply.
Interesting.
And that is, I think, a disservice to our school district because we will have them for less time. And then that's the shift because they have full day in their neighborhood school district and then can come to first and second grade here.
Very interesting.
And there actually, I did find out another statistic that a lot of our African American candidates, because we've been seeing a decrease, have been going to the full, putting other districts who have full day kinder as their primary choice. And I was wondering why some of the families have shifted, some demographics have shifted, and I found that out at the last Tinsley meeting. So the families definitely want full day kinder.
Another issue I've heard from parents, and I know is expressed in the webinar that you guys hosted on this topic, is this trickle down of academic rigor into, which it's hard to imagine, but into kindergarten, which you think of as this time for play and just learning how to share and all of those kind of early skills. And I did look at some research that showed that kindergarten classrooms today have really transformed, and part of it has to do with No Child Left Behind, which is no longer in place, but those assessments sort of pressuring teachers, the third grade teachers saying, the second grade teachers saying, the kindergarten teachers, we need to prepare them better. Could you talk about that a little bit and about the balance in the full day kindergarten classrooms that are now in place and what you would want to see if the district moved to that?
Yeah, absolutely. And, I've gone on record, and in fact, you did a nice job of that, Elena, of saying this is we're not intending to add more curriculum to kindergarten. This is not going to be the new first grade or even the new second grade as it is in some districts. This is going to stay kindergarten, where they do have the small groups, where they learn to appreciate reading for the love of reading. They learn to do math by having fun and exploring and doing all kinds of hands-on activities, as I saw again over at Aloni this morning. It's about doing reading and writing workshops, so it's actually more time for the teachers to work with small groups, but also to work with individual kids. So, and I will defend that. That's a hill I will choose to die on. Is not to pile more curriculum into kindergarten. What we're doing now is giving them more time to teach the existing curriculum. And we're already hearing the results of reading and writing workshop from the first and second grade teachers that it is making a difference.
And that's a particular curriculum that the district has adopted, right?
In our literacy program.
Yeah.
So even go back a step to our young fives and our TK classrooms. Spent a lot of time this year just observing the readiness of those students and literacy. Not demanding that the teachers take on a more rigorous curriculum, but they try out different aspects. They check the learning and the literacy and the reading skill set, building upon thinking and academic discourse with kids. So amazing what students are bringing to us at such an early age. Same in kinder. Our teachers are our valuable resource. They gave us feedback about an assessment that we had in math. Did we just shun away and say, no, we embraced it? We've listened to them. They have worked on modifying, tweaking, and adjusting. We value their voice. We value their expertise. Those 44 strong are amazing teachers, and so they're part of this. But we want them to be able to do what they do best, which is to enhance, enrich, and cultivate our students. But we're not placing more on them. We're not asking them to do more. We're asking them to do their best.
Now, Barbara, you just mentioned the young fives, transitional kindergarten. There's a lot going on in this area. Can you just briefly kind of clarify for us what are the differences between the options currently offered?
So Transitional K is a program that the state basically created for those students who are not quite ready for kinder with the age, but are able to move into the academic piece of it and the social emotional learning piece of it, and then prepare them to go to kinder. The young fives are young, but they're ready. And so having them in their little cohort, being able to work on their skills and their readiness factors for kinder, it's just an amazing little campus over there.
Greendale.
With experts in their field, with early literacy, early learning, socialization, and preparing them for what they're going to get when they come to kinder.
Are those, how long are those programs? Are they a summer course? Is it a year-long course?
Well,
What's
we
the
have
structure?
Springboard that the district supports, which is actually a February to June for students who haven't had any, of those school-age experiences. And so that's prepares them to go right into kinder. Our TK is a full year, our Young Fives is a full year. So it's just getting them that extra time based on their age and their emotional and social needs, and preparing them. And that is really, really a benefit to our kinder program.
I've heard too that transitional kindergarten, because it changed the age cutoff, that has even changed the nature of some kindergarten classrooms, because obviously, every student is different, but having all of the 5-year-olds instead of the young one, or is it, it's 5?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
great-
you're right,
Yeah, that's for some teachers who had to differentiate to the younger learners.
It's changed the landscape,
Yes.
yeah.
It really does make, I have 2 4-year-old granddaughters who are 8 months apart, but they're still 4. But the difference, one will be going into the kindergarten and the other's not, for a good reason.
Yeah.
And so this kids now are all 5-year-olds in kindergarten, and frankly, they want to be in school. I got the nicest note from Ann Brown, said, "We have to go during vacation. I want to come and stay in school."
Yeah, some kids really want not only the academic challenge, but just the socialization with all other kids their
Friends.
age, and they're
Exactly.
just so into it right now.
I was curious, really quickly, just if the district were to shift to the first proposal, which would be
Right.
extended day with the extra support of the
Yeah.
reading specialist, what would that mean for Barron Park and Palo Verde?
We're not going to change Barron Park or Palo Verde.
Okay.
We're going to keep them the way they are.
Okay.
And what's interesting, because we do have some data from Escondido anyway, and it's interesting because having the specialist there helps that year, but it's not sustained in first and second grade.
Right,
So,
okay.
but that has not, in all fairness, has not been with a reading specialist. That's been with a instructional aide who can be a teacher. So I think the benefits of the longer day, the extended models, really outweigh that first option, though the first option is the most economical.
We're going to wrap up pretty
Oh, wow.
soon, but did you have any final thoughts that you wanted to share that we hadn't gotten to in this conversation?
I think another point that was brought up was the need for instructional aides in the classroom, which they already
Great point.
have. It varies in number of hours, but what we want to do is to make sure that partnership with the teacher and the instructional aide is extended, and that they have the sort of training necessary to support the teacher and the students in the classroom. So that was another must-have that really was voiced loud and clear by the teachers. So that's a consideration that we definitely are looking into as well.
And we heard from the teachers, we don't start our longer day in any program till, maybe not Barron Park, but the other
they're all
schools till
the
October. They have
October.
started-
October.
They're all
October.
half days through October. And we're going to continue that, so it will still be half days through October. We heard that loudly and clearly from the teachers.
It's a transitional ramping up.
Sort
That's
of an
right, yeah,
ease
I
in,
think that's a
an
great
ease in.
idea.
Yeah, great.
Judy? Well, I appreciate the opportunity for the forum. We will be, this will be part of the budget discussion at the May 10th board meeting, and we're always eager to hear from people. I get emails almost every day. But I hope that we're starting to think, as the think tank members are, about how we can work together for the best. Everybody wants the best for their students, the teachers, the parents, we right here, the school board. So rather than make this us versus them, or as things sometimes get in Palo Alto, the Coliseum culture, thumbs up or thumbs down, maybe we can think of a way to work together and enhance and improve. So it's not fix something that's broke and then it's not throw it, to enhance a continuous improvement model. It's that growth mindset that we hear so much about. So thanks for the opportunity to be on the video and to share our thinking
Well, thank you
today.
for being here, Max McGee, Judy Argumedo, and Barbara Harris. Thank you so
you.
much for your time.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, and you can always check us out on paloaltoonline.com for the latest news, or if you want to talk about this topic, it's paloaltoonline.com/square for town square. That's it for this week. Thanks.